I'm truly upset. I'm truly disturbed. I'm going to try my best to stay composed. How in the world we give up Jesus?
I mean, I'm not gonna point fingers. That's not what I'm here for. We just gotta understand. You can't peak too high. You can't be too low. You gotta always stay level-headed with everything.
The Colorado Buffaloes just had a disastrous loss to the Stanford Cardinals, where they blew a 29-point lead and lost in double overtime, 46-43. And we're going to hear some detailed breakdown of this devastating loss from Coach Deion Sanders and quarterback Shedeur Sanders.
How's everyone doing? Hats off to our opposition today. They came back and played a heck of a game in the second quarter. They went on to get the victory. I'm truly upset. I'm truly disturbed. I'm going to try my best to stay composed and do the best of my ability to handle this press conference, because you deserve my best, and I'm going to try my best to give it to you. Started out the game wonderfully. Finally put it together in the first half like I desired, like we desired, like our players desired, and the fans. Wonderful first half. 29-0, I believe the score was there. Am I correct? And you surrender, I believe, 3 touchdowns unanswered, close to it, which I can't fathom right now. I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. And then the thing just kept going left. I mean, at halftime, I talked to him about, the old cliche, people say it's 0-0, but that's not true. It's not 0-0, it's 29-0. But I felt complacency going into the half because we stalled offensively. We gave up some yardage as well. And just didn't like how I felt going in at halftime. We come back out, and here comes the complacency. Here comes that team that I can't stand, that you can't stand, that you can't understand how in the world that happens to us. But it did. And didn't turn it back on, I think, until late in the fourth quarter, when we were able to go down and get a score, and we go down, and then they tied up, and we got overtime. And you don't want to go in overtime because they have nothing to lose. Nothing to lose. I was surprised that they kicked the field goal the first time. I thought they was just going to go for 2 and try their best to get it over with. But they were resilient. Big win by them. Horrible loss by us. Let's go.
Hey, Coach. Brian Howard from the Buffalo Daily Camera. Obviously, that second half, it was the connection from quarterback to 13 was killing you guys, and Travis was on him quite a bit. What were you seeing in that matchup between Travis and?
Well, we didn't play well, not just Travis. I think it all started when we gave up on the 97-yard touchdown, which was flat out ridiculous. That's when it all started. That's when all the foolishness, all the complacency, all the mess started. I mean, how in the world we give up Jesus? Our secondary did not play the best game, especially at the cornerback position.
Coach, Matt Smith, 104.3 The Fan.
Yes,
it seemed
sir.
like in the second half, maybe just some communication issues there with the coaching staff. Did you feel that?
In what regards?
Substitution errors.
Substitution on defense?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. There's so many different packages that you run and so many different personnel, but you got to understand we're basing our change of personnel on what they're changing. So that kind of happens when they having different personnel groups, and the referee is holding the game up, so we get a chance to substitute as well. What was happening is one guy was coming off the field appropriately, and he saw something, and he stopped. So that gives us 12 men on the field. It was things like that was transpiring, which we can't even wrap our head around it because we practiced this stuff repeatedly.
Again, along the same line, some of the substitution things, the penalties. You've defended Coach Kelly at every turn.
Yeah.
This is one where now people are going to start pointing fingers, and you said,
Well, if you're going to point the fingers, point it at me, because if I'm allowing it, it should be on me, not him. Point it on me. We go over this stuff. And there are times where you know what group is in, you know what group you're on, but you have a lapse of understanding in those crucial moments. Right now, we're not built for the moment. We're not built for the moment. Some of our players aren't built for the moment where they have to make a play or they have to keep contained or they have to make a block or they have to get another yard. We're not built for the moment right now.
Hey, Coach, Tyler King with the Denver Gazette.
Yes, sir.
You guys had 17 penalties tonight. I mean, that was something that was positive for you guys early in the season was the lack of penalties.
I didn't know it was that many.
What has led to the amount of penalties you guys have been accumulating over the last couple weeks?
Not being smart, not being disciplined, not understanding the moment. That's what that is. Yeah, that's what that is.
Hi, Coach. Adam Musser, Tiger 24/7 Sports. We saw Trevor Woods play a little closer to the line of scrimmage at linebacker tonight.
Yeah.
Is that a matchup with Stanford, or do you like him in that role?
No, I love him in that role. I really do. We have some good safeties that we have, and Trevor is that kind of team guy that's going to do whatever he needs to do to help his team. And that's something that I'll do that. And I think he played well. I haven't watched the film yet, but thank God that he's willing to sacrifice what he's accustomed to doing to help us improve ourselves.
Hey, Coach. Jake Schwannis, DMVR.
How
Just
you
curious
doing?
about Travis, just his conditioning. What do you feel like that
His
was?
condition is great. It was just some plays he made, some plays he didn't. Just so happens the plays that he didn't make at the end are magnified. But the plays he made kept us in the game.
Hi, Coach.
How you doing?
Nikki Edwards, Hughes Sports Report. I remember you said before that Shedeur puts on his cape and saves these games for
Right.
you. What kind of happened in overtime where maybe there was miscommunication on that play when it turned into an interception?
Yeah,
What were you
first of all,
seeing
he should have never thrown the ball. Should have never thrown the ball. I don't know if they played it on a replay to show what happened with the receivers on that play. Did they show it? Right. Yeah, what happened? Because I want to see it because I know what happened. I want to see what they showed. Yeah, I think something else transpired on that play that shouldn't happen. So he shouldn't have never thrown the ball, though. Just give us another down, let's kick field goal. Stay in it.
Hey, Coach.
Yes,
Tony
sir.
Casolo, Buffalo's Wire. Kickoffs have been an issue for your team this year. I think it's a handful of times you've kicked it out of bounds, especially I think it's twice after a personal foul penalty.
Yeah.
Can you say what the issue is or what the
I don't think we had that
assignments
problem
was there?
today. I mean, the kickoff that we did have that went out of bounds, it was going to be marked at the 20 regardless. So it was a moot point. Other than that, I think Jace did a good job on kickoffs today. We improved in that area today.
Hey, Coach. Pat Rooney, Boulder Daily Camera.
Yes, sir.
When you had overtime against Colorado State, you took the ball first when the offense had a lot of momentum.
Yeah.
Why the decision tonight to get the offense out there?
We have a really good quarterback, and I trust him. That's why. And we went right down and scored.
Anything else for Coach? Coach, you mentioned the complacency with this team. You guys now have 2 weeks before you play again.
Right.
Is this a good time for a bye week to try to fix some?
No, it's not a good time for a bye week. I mean, if you're having problems where you're injured and you have quite a few injuries, it's a good time for a bye week. But when you're playing like you're playing, you don't want a bye week. You want to work it out. You want to make it happen. I wish we could play again next week. I really do.
We talked about the complacency of the defense.
Complacency of everybody.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about the offense a little bit. I mean, giving up that amount of points in the second half is obviously unacceptable, but the offense obviously also has to contribute in some way.
Yeah, true.
Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yes, you're right. I don't need to talk about it. You said it.
Coach, just one personnel thing.
Mm-hmm.
Juwan Mitchell, I didn't see him out there at all.
Yeah.
Is he with this team still?
Yeah.
Is he injured?
Ask him what happened. Next guy.
Just simply put, I mean, how does this team go forward after a defeat?
You
like
have
this?
no choice but to go forward. That's life. This ain't the only thing that's going on in life. I mean, all you guys are dealing with something. You still moving. You still progressing. You still going forward. We got to do the same darn thing. We didn't expect that. There's a lot of things that goes on in life that's unexpected, and this is one of them. We got to knuckle up and let's go. We can't sit down and have no pity party. Y'all don't feel bad for us. Some of y'all are ecstatic about what transpired today, and I know that. but that's cool. We're going to take this one on the chin because we deserve it. 29, I've never been in one of these types. I don't remember, from youth on, I don't remember being up 29-0 and losing a football game. I really don't. This is a little tough for me, and I'm trying my best, and I thank you all for your patience, and I thank you for your heart, because this is really tough for me. But you can see when I'm amping up and I kind of see this stuff coming, you can see why I go at it like I go at it, because I could feel my team. I could feel what's about to transpire, and here we go.
I mean, how important are the next maybe 24
Every game is important.
The next 24 to 48 hours in terms of flushing this and moving past it?
Well, you got to they got to, what I just said in the locker room to the team is they got to make up in their mind, are they in love with this game or are they in like with it? Because when you love something, you give to it unconditionally. You give everything you got to it, but when you like it, that's just the button you push. And it lights up in a like. That's what they do on social media. So we got to figure out, do they love it or do they like it? And it's hard for me because I love this. I love it. Without a shadow of a doubt, I am truly 100% in love with this thing. And I just want people to match me. Just match my passion, match my heart, match my love, match my consistency, just match my mannerisms, just match every darn thing I give to this game. I love this. Sadly, I love it so much, but the game don't even occupy the ability to love you back. That's a strange love, isn't it?
Coach, you spoke, Patrick Dawson, Scope Up Sports. You spoke about struggles in the secondary. What are some things that you and the coaching staff are going to look at throughout the bye week?
Well, you can always look at personnel, but it is what it is. It is what it is. So it was hard to look at. Defensive backs either play to make a play or play to stop a play from being made. I like the guys who play to make a play. I really do. We got to get to that point. Thank you. God bless.
Coach Prime inside must be so frustrated at his team for now being 4-3, giving up so many unanswered points to Stanford, to losing to Stanford, who only had one win previously, and to always have to put the weight of his entire team on his son's shoulders or his quarterback's shoulders because the defense just plays terribly. There's no run game. And especially since they were supposed to be the talk of the town, they were supposed to be this great thing. They were going to aim so high in the first year in the Pac-12. And now they're really stinking it up recently. Now let's hear what Shedeur has to say on his big game where he threw for 400 yards, 5 touchdowns, 1 interception. He had 37 rushing yards, which means he didn't have all those negative rushing yards like he's previously had because of all the sacks. I mean, he went off in this game. He played great. But what is it like for him to play so great and again lose? Let's find out.
What are the initial emotions after a stunning loss like that, where you guys were kind of rolling so much in the first half and then to be sitting here with a loss?
I feel like any loss is like, you don't really take it that good. I don't think it's feel-good losses. I feel like all losses feel the same.
Dad was just talking about how he noticed complacency heading into the locker room.
Yeah.
What was his message at the half there?
I'm not gonna lie, I don't even remember because I was just so locked in. I was just a different mind frame. You got to get in when you know you're playing 4 quarters. So really, I just like staying just focused and staying in that mode and really just carry that throughout the whole game.
Do you feel like you tried to change the approach as an offense heading into the second half, or because it had worked so well in the first half, it was, let's just keep doing it, man, 29 points?
Well, I'm not sure. I just executed the plays that was called. I didn't really look at it in a big grand scheme of things.
Shedeur, Troy Finnegan, CU Sports Report. Take me through the last play in overtime, the interception, and what you saw on that play as you were kind of escaping, trying to make a play.
It was just a dumb play. I just threw it up. Simple.
Hey, Shedeur, just what was it like playing with Travis again tonight, though?
It was good. He's an explosive player. It was good to have him back out there. We got to work through some plays and stuff with him to make sure he's all the ways in the right spot. But when the ball gets in his hand, he's explosive.
Sure, Kyle Newman from the Denver Post. How do you guys flush this one and kind of, keep the ultimate goal and a bowl season in mind after this tough loss?
I mean, I'm not even thinking that far yet. I got to at least feel this one first.
Shedeur, on the first drive of the second half, when you kind of took that sack that kind of pushed you guys on the fourth down play, did you feel a loss of momentum there at all?
No, it was never a loss of momentum. It was just we just got to understand you can't peak too high, you can't be too low. You got to always stay level-headed with everything. That was the biggest thing. It was just like, we never had that feeling of dominating in the first half. So then that's when a lot of people, you'll say it peaked too fast to where everybody don't really understand. Like, we got to be the same way, same approach, same everything. It's a difference with saying that, and it's a difference with meaning and going about it, each and everything. So slow starts just always happen when just one or two people mess up on a play, and then it just messes up.
And what was so easy? What was so easy for you guys offensively in the first half that kind of disappeared there in the second half?
Attention to detail. That's it.
Shedeur, how disappointing, with the way the offense was going in the first half, how disappointing that offensively you guys couldn't get much going in the second half to help your defense out when they were on the run?
It was definitely frustrating because, like I say, it was one or two players away from really hitting explosive plays, from doing the right things each and every drive we had. So when you really, when we look at the film and what I noticed on the field is just all 11 players got to do their job, and that's it. We can't, because the stuff going to catch up when it catch up, and it caught up to us today.
Folks from the outside, there's not much middle ground on you guys. There's lovers and there's haters, and you've addressed both of them. What do you say to outsiders who are going to say, man, 13 went off, Travis had too many snaps, he came back too early, he was tired, he was this, he was that, because they don't know. You know. What'd you say to them?
I mean, I don't really think that's a focus point for me at all. I'm mainly focused on the team and focused on what we need to improve on, and the people are gonna hate you and love you. So you gotta understand that's what you can't be happy when everything's good and sad when everything's bad. You gotta be the same person regardless. So that's basically where I just stay and how I live my life, is just level-headed throughout the whole game, staying the same way, not getting too up, not getting too down, because as you've seen, things could go left quick, and today's a moment to show that live in person.
Shedeur, your dad was saying in here earlier that he's never really been a part of a game. He can remember that, he blew a 29-point lead at halftime. I'm sure the same can be said for you. How do you move on from a game like this?
I mean, we got to accept this one first, and it's just a different level of, I would say, focus, different level of attitude, different level of just seriousness, because the little things, even like when we score touchdowns, we still busting routes. Like, we just can't afford to do that because it's going to catch up when it catch up. So that's the main thing. Like, understand when guys busting routes and when I'm not making the right read, getting the ball in my hand, doing the right thing, then it got to be some punishment for it. We got to be able to grow from it and not keep making the same mistakes.
Ralph Simpson with Audacity TV. First, I want to condemn you. What you did in the community, how you helped the community and your team.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Jordan had some setbacks before he won championships.
Yeah.
The Detroit Pistons had to have some setbacks before they won some championships.
Yeah.
You got some championships coming.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Some things happen for a reason, and y'all got greatness in you, and it's coming.
For sure. Appreciate it, man. I feel the same way.
Yeah. Ariel, you want the last one?
Yeah, please. Ariel Arsuto, 9 News. Your coach, father, said that his message after the game was that some players either like or love the game, and there's a separation between the two. Do you feel personally that there is that separation in the locker room, that some players just aren't fully buying in, they don't fully love this game right now?
I mean, I'm not gonna point fingers. That's not what I'm here for. I let the coaches. That's what they're here for. They're here to guide us. So I can't really say that and throw no teammate under the bus because that's not what type of player I am. The guys know that and that's it. But I'll never put a teammate down and say he's not fully in if he probably is.
Not to name names or anything, but do you feel like that might be an overall vibe for some players?
Possibly. I feel like it could be that everywhere in the country, but we possibly could have it too. So that's not up for me to decide. I'm just up to decide, just make the right reads, win games, get the ball in my hands, and just push the team.
All right, thanks, Shedeur.
Appreciate it.
So what does this mean for Colorado going forward? Well, one, it means that they're not as good as Deion continually said they were going to be. And that's a fact. All you Deion lovers and worshipers you have to recognize that truth. Colorado's not as good as he said. They're 4-3. They lost to Stanford in a terrible fashion, giving up a record-breaking performance, which I want to state right here. Elik Ayomanor, don't know how to pronounce his name, 13 receptions for 294 yards. That's 22.6 yards per catch with 3 touchdowns. Amazingly, their quarterback, who threw almost 300 yards to one player, still had less yards passing than Shedeur did. Because Shedeur threw for 400 and Stanford quarterback Daniels threw for 396. But man, it's just showing you that Colorado is not all that. Now they're in their first year, they're trying to build their program, build their habits, build their players. It makes sense, it's okay. But it is the truth. And all you Colorado worshipers and fanboys that have jumped on and fangirls, it's the truth. Colorado is not that good. They are giving up so many points to not great offenses and teams. And forgive me for the road noise, but I just got to Scotland. I've been traveling around, and I want to get this video out for you guys. So embrace the construction, baby. But they're not that good. And doesn't mean that they can't be good later. Doesn't mean they can't improve. Doesn't mean they can't have high hopes. But the fact is right now, they're not playing good. You're up 29-0 at halftime, and then you let the team come back, have a few chances in overtime, and then you lose. Your defense, your running game is just atrocious. I mean, they can't run the ball against toddlers. Their highest rusher was Shedeur this game with 37. Their running back had 33. That was the running back that Deion just kept saying, oh man, he's a beast, he's a beast. He might be a round 1, I think he said, or he's an NFL prospect. Well, with that O-line or that kid's talent, that's not the truth. That's not what's happening. And so now, I mean, Shedeur is definitely going to have to come back for his next year because he needs to improve his draft prospects. But I mean, he's playing pretty lights out. I mean, he's torching up these teams. And Travis Hunter finally returned, by the way. And he had, let's see, 140 yards and 2 touchdowns. Man, that must be so exciting for him to come back and play so strong. Wow, that's amazing. All the while playing on offense and defense. Now, I know Deion said that he wanted him to wait till after the bye week, which is coming up this week, to then come back and let his body fully rest. But I don't know who decided that, but they had him play. He played pretty damn good. And now they're on to the next one. But it doesn't look any better for them because this was supposed to be one of their weaker games. Stanford had only 1 win before this game. And now Colorado has multiple ranked opponents coming up. So, I mean, I don't really know what to make of this other than that Colorado is not that good right now. And they have a long way to go. And they're also, the other thing, they're getting every team's best shot. Because of all the hype, because of all the glory, the cockiness that Deion Sanders portrays, right? He has calm confidence, but he's also charismatically confident, which can come across as cocky. And so teams are trying to really take them out because they know how much coverage the games are going to get. So even if Stanford's having a terrible year, they're going to get amped up to play Colorado and to try to beat them. So every time, because of what Deion's trying to build, they're going to get everyone's best shot, which is a price to pay for when you talk so much, when you're charismatic, when you're breaking the norms of college football. And this is the effect. You know, the amazing teams, once they get going, are able to handle that, able to handle getting every team's best shot. Colorado's in the beginning stages of building their program, so we'll see if they can get out of this rut towards the end of this year or even next year when they rebuild with a better roster. Anyway, it is not looking good for Colorado football. And I know that's illegal to say to these Deion Sanders fan people who just absolutely adore him. I mean, I'm a huge fan of him, but sometimes you can't say these negative things about the team, but they're not looking good.